then this is the optional one. If it looks like this, then this is the must one. Okay? You have in the Daysi Mus'haf 2 signals. In the Mus'haf al-Madina, they all look the same thing. And it looks like that. Okay? So this is a good clue in the Daysi Mus'haf to help you whether this is an optional mad or a must mad. But again, I repeat this, just like many teachers they will tell you, just to be on the safe side, treat them all the same way. But, you know, as far as this here, treat them all the same way. But you cannot say, إِنَّهُ كَانَ بِهِ خَبِيرًا. That would be wrong. Because there is no reason for you to do the mad in here. Because there's no hamza in there. Thank you. Good. With that, this is what we covered last time.
So you prefer 4 harakas, right?
Yes. Not me. What I'm teaching from the scholars that I've been reading off of and learning off of, they all do 4 harakas. They say this would be the safest way. The reason is because you're going to see the 6 harakas right now. Okay? Okay. Now, I said there are few exceptions, and I told you just one exception where in Surah Al-Zumar it says يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ. In this case, this ha again goes back onto, you know, it's a pronoun that returns upon Allah Azza wa Jal. He's not here, he's not present, you know, in masculine form. يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ. You think that immediately we go like this, يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ. يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ 2 harakas. But in this case, this is where the situation is not applied, and you just say يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ. Okay, this is an exception to the rule. This is the only exception in the Quran for that rule, that it's not done. So, with that being said, I'm going to start now talking to you today about the last few mads, and we are going to start with al-mad al-lazim. Okay, so I'm going to erase this here a little bit because I need to make some space. And the mad al-lazim is going to fall under here because it is not tabi'i and it's going to be an extension more than necessary. Okay? The normal extension is qala. But if I go ahead and say qala, then that's something more than the needed. So we're going to talk about that today. So under the far'i is al-mad al-lazim. Al-mad al-lazim means also yeah. Okay. And al-mad al-lazim is also 2 types. But this word lazim also means, it can be explained more than one way. The word lazim means it is attached to. It is always with it. Just like your head is attached to your body. It's part of it, you know. That's one way. But also it is lazim, that means it must be done with it. It must be. So what's the difference between this must and that must over there? Okay? This is a must, lazim. This is a must. I'm calling both of them compulsory. Why is this wajib and this is lazim? Here's the difference. All the cases, now in here, I told you this could be either 4 or 5, and I only explained this 4 or 5 from a certain path of narrators. Alright? From a certain path of narrators. From the Shatibi it is 4 or 5. From a Jazriya it's going to be like, no, it's going to be like only 4, 5, or 6. It's a different thing. You see that there's an option, right? There's a little bit variations on the option, but not as much as this. In here, you went down to 2. What is 2? Harakas. No mad. No extras. If I do this, inna amanna, qalu inna, as if I didn't do any mad. Right? So I didn't do anything in here. Or I can do 3, 4, 5, or whatever. Different types. And here, I always did some kind of a mad. I never left it as min as-sama. I always either said sama or sama, or sama. I always extended it, depending on where you're learning from. So this is why, because the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam did it this way or that way or that way, and from the different narrations, the one narrator tells you, no, he only did it these 2 types, the other narrators, no, we heard the Rasul do it 3 different types. So then it is must upon you that you do, it is wajib upon you to do some kind of a mad. Whereas this, jais, because sometimes he didn't do it, alayhi salatu wasalam. What about this one? Always, every single time our Rasul read it, it was never changing, always 6 harakas. Always, always, always 6 harakas. It did not change anything but 6. And that's why it became lazim. It was connected to it, and it's always the same. Your head is always the same on top of your shoulders. It doesn't change it. Except for Tanwir, it takes some time. That's all I said. Okay? So, a lazim is divided into 2 types. كلمي وحرفي. Word type, wordish.
Sentence.
No, words actually. Letterish. Wordy, lettery. And I can't do this. Word off word.
Well, if you say this, it would be my
Of a word.
Kalami is
Or
like
pertaining to word and pertaining to letters. Of letters, of the letters.
Huh?
Okay?
Wouldn't kalami is like my word?
Not, that
Harif
would
is
be
my
that
letter.
would be this. Kalami.
Kalami.
Okay? My word. But kalmi. Okay? Here. Kalmi
Kalami
wa
or something.
harfi. So it is pertaining to words, pertaining to letters.